ready, America, for another episode of Happy Friday? Well, if you're not, you better get ready quick because it's coming in hot. Jason knows it's Friday the 13th. We've used that one before, of course. About every twice a year, we get a Friday the 13th. It's going to be a great day. We have a jam-packed episode. My name is Kevin Badstone. We're going to cut to it, get right after it. Joining me across the table is Mr. Arthur. You know he's got at least 5 on it, raw.
Got at least 5 on it. I might lose 5, make 10. Come on, let's double down, baby. Doubling down for the weekend, doubling down for Saturday and Sunday. And you know I'm going to start it off with some Today in History.
Let's go, Art. June 13th in history. I wonder how many times June 13th has fallen on a Friday.
I'm not too sure. I didn't have that one, but I do have this. In 1777, Leonard Norcross patents the submarine diving suit. I believe that's like the big bulky one that they had hooked up.
Oh, yeah.
So, we were getting underneath the water. 1886, this one's kind of a sad one. Fire destroys nearly 1,000 buildings in Vancouver, British Columbia. Look, I've been there once. Love that place. I saw it pop up. I had to put in the devastation. And moving to 1888, this one's a cool one. We were kind of talking a little bit last week about
the employment,
unemployment, employment, this and that. Well, in 1888, the U.S. Congress creates the Department of Labor. So, we were working on that. I wonder what they're doing nowadays, because there's probably a lot of people that could use jobs. And could the Department of Labor increase the minimum wage, because inflation keeps going up and salaries really haven't in the last 20 years.
Well, it depends on what industry you're in.
That's true too. But either way, you got to work and earn your income. Nothing is given at minimal effort. You give minimal effort, you get minimal. That's just how it goes. Moving forward, 1948, Babe Ruth's final farewell at Yankee Stadium. And then unfortunately, we lost the Babe, the King, in August of that same year. 1966, this is the last one I got for this week. U.S. Supreme Court, they decide to do the Miranda rights in 1966, saying that suspects must be informed of their rights. I think that's such a crucial, important law that went into effect. That is Today in History.
Some juicy stuff there, Art, for sure. I didn't know 1966 on the Miranda rights. If that was a trivia question that comes up in the future, I've got it now. All right, we're moving on. My first contestant of the week for Dumbass of the Week. This guy is out of control. Jonathan Mason, calling you out big time here, buddy. All right, so before I tell you what he was arrested for this time, let's back it up a bit. Last year, he was arrested for being intoxicated and evading police on a mule. They had to apprehend him, take him in, got him for animal cruelty, public intoxication, and endangerment to the public. He has been also arrested numerous times for public intoxication, indecent exposure, and destruction of property. Well, if that's not enough for him, last week he got excited again and decided to release a wild raccoon into a business on the city streets, and it went in and started biting people. He was completely hammered, and he was arrested on the spot.
I bet you he thought that was hilarious.
It sounds like he just doesn't give a fuck.
This man is the definition of old habits die hard. And he's probably going to die from his habits, honestly, unless if he just dies in a prison cell, like from detox.
I mean, this arrest report, I'm just scraping the surface. I have it all in here. You can scroll down, click this link, and you can imagine that the mugshot, just imagine what this guy looks like as you're watching right now, and then scroll down. That's what he looks like.
I smell cigarettes and BO.
And regret.
That one guy.
Yep. So he's up first for Dumbass of the Week. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited to hear who else you got on here. You found some ridiculous ones this week. I'm about to talk about the first known sighting of a massive Antarctic squid caught on camera during a Nat Geo expedition. Now, this one's cool. I like nature, so I had to bring this one up. Now, when I heard massive squid, I'm thinking like a giant squid. Apparently, I'm off on that because it's like actually 3 feet or longer, but this is the first time that we've actually witnessed one of these things on camera. We knew they existed because we would see their beaks within prey animal stomachs, or we seen like them washed up on a shore, but this is the first time that one was actually seen. They reside at depths of 7,000 feet deep.
That's what I thought.
So that's
deep water.
Extremely deep. And like I'm saying, it's really cool that we're finding this new stuff. So this turns out to be there's 19 different species of squid that they've found in the deep seas. And it's just amazing when you think about it, how we are still discovering new species. how many species are out there that we haven't discovered yet, and how do they play a crucial role in our environments? Just kind of a cool one, little good news that I found out there on the Good News Network. Thank you so much for always providing some wholesome stuff that I can find here and present on Happy
You
Friday.
think that squid tastes good? You think
Oh
that one
yeah.
you think that tastes better than the calamari we've been eating?
Oh yeah.
That pig anus?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about all
I
that.
think so.
Some of those calamaris are questionable, folks. You got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
If it looks like a little ring, it doesn't have much to it. I'd be skeptical about it.
It could be calamari. It could be pig intestines.
Pig rectum, pig intestines.
Mhm.
Yep. Not to squeam anybody out, but that is the fact. So let's move over to the Swiss. This guy is out of his mind. Elise Meyer decides, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and break a Guinness Book of World Record. And this was originally set by a man named Roman Voski. Kind of sounds Polish, but there's a lot of the skis over there. In 2022, the record was set for the longest outdoor being buried in snow with only your swim trunks on. Very interesting record. It was originally set in 2022 at an hour, 45 minutes, and 2 seconds. Elias Meyer goes out there last week or the week before here in the Swiss Alps and does it for more than 2 hours, breaking this record, only swim trunks, buried in a
So
snowbank.
this is a dude,
This is a dude.
and they have to be doing cold plunges or like something to get
Yeah,
prepared.
you
for
got to
this.
train for that. I mean, think about just sitting in your skin contact with snow for a short time.
Your skin's going red. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting frostbite. Like how does he not get frostbite?
Well, I don't have a health report after the fact. I just know that he did it. He's the new record holder. Once again, you could scroll down and see a picture of him sitting in the snowbank in his orange swim trunks.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the mind like plays a huge role, and it's just a testament to humans' capability to think their way through a situation. And honestly, the mind wants to quit before the body does most of the time. It's our mind that makes us quit, not our capability of our physical being. So that's really interesting to hear about. And he had to go into some type of meditation.
Yeah.
I've heard about monks like being at the top of a mountain or something. And of course, a monk at the top of a mountain, that's just part of the story. But like where they can sit there and like focus their energy and radiate so much heat that as snow falls, it actually melts before even touching their skin because of their like aura and essence that they're able to focus.
The monks have it
So
figured out.
I wonder if this guy used some kind of meditation to do this.
I feel like you would have to. And like you said, training, cold plunges, the body starts to go into a flight or fight mode. And you got to get your heart rate under control, get your breathing under control. Because your first, like when people plunge into the ice, through the ice into water,
Yeah.
heart rates, you panic. So once you get all like that under control, like Bear Grylls used to teach it in outdoor survival. He's like, just focus on your breathing before you start panicking, which is hard to do in that scenario because you immediately want to get out of it.
It really is.
Now, this wasn't like an accidental situation. He knew he was going to be jumping into the snow, so he was mentally prepared.
He was mentally prepared. And look, one thing that would have me panicking is the would you rather from last week. Because
Yes.
if I got faced with a horse-sized duck,
We talked about
you
this
know
a
what
lot.
I'm saying? So that was our would you rather last week.
Yep.
Would you rather versus one horse-sized duck or 100
Horse-
duck-sized horses?
Yeah, duck-sized horses.
And we both wanted to square off with the
We're
big
going
duck,
one-on-one with the
big
mega
duck,
with the mega
blunt
duck.
objects.
Blunt objects.
Look
America,
at that duck. Where'd they go?
unanimous 100%. They're taking on
The horses?
nope, they're taking on the mega duck with us.
Everyone's taking on the mega duck.
Yeah, because I think most people saw it from that perspective of it's one thing I got to battle instead of
Yeah.
100.
Well, yeah, 100 little horses. I think you're gonna lose.
I mean, you could get like 25 of them under control, and then you got another 75 coming
Just
at
imagine
you,
those things kicking your ankles and stuff. Like, oh yeah,
biting, nipping at you.
Yeah, you're
No.
done.
You got to take the horse-sized duck.
Yeah, it's good. Risky business either way. America, we don't normally get you all voting with us, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
Usually it's 50-50.
That's
so.
actually pretty cool. This one, I'm going work related. Okay, and this is a question that's
been around
asked.
for a while.
It's been asked a bunch of times. I don't think we've ever done it on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Would you rather have 4 10-hour workdays or stick with the traditional 5 8-hour workdays? Where are you going on this one, Kev?
Well, a couple different ways to look at it. I mean, we're blessed to do what we do in podcasting and our day jobs and all that. So our schedules are a little bit different than the traditional banker hours, if you will. But in this scenario, I mean, I worked in the grocery business for almost 20 years. So I would rather the 410s in that scenario. And more specifically, because you can get even further. Like, are you doing 410s in a row, 3 off, or are you staggering throughout the week? Some people would take like the weekend off, and then have Wednesday off, right?
Yep.
So you do a 10 on Monday, Tuesday, off, a 10 on Thursday, Friday, off, off.
Yep. I used to have a schedule like that, and honestly, it was awesome because I only ever worked 2 days in a row.
It's not bad.
So that was actually awesome. I'm totally going 4 10s with a Wednesday off and the weekends off. That, in my mind, is primo schedule.
Yeah, that is. I think I would agree with that. America, where are you going? Let us know. Comments below or over on Twitter X at Happy Fry. The polls go up right after the episode drops every Friday morning.
Okay, we got another dumbass of the week alert coming up.
Another dumbass of the week alert coming up here. Let's see. Justin Kimball, you are also in the running here for dumbass of the week. This is a felon. Okay, he has been arrested for DWI the day that he reported that he was going to buy a gun.
So he got arrested because of his own report?
Yep. So he reports his own attempt to buy a gun, which you can't do as a felon in the United States of America. If you're a felon, you can't own fire. Plain and simple. So he goes, I'm going to report myself. And then he was arrested for a DWI the same day.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is in the state of Missouri.
Okay.
Some people would find that not shocking. It's not a Florida man, so there is that. But yeah, so this took place in Missouri. He was charged with first-degree assault, DWI, discharging a firearm at a person, unlawful possession of a firearm, armed criminal action, and has a $25,000 bond.
Wait, I thought he was applying for a firearm, but he was actually in possession of an illegal?
Of an illegal firearm.
Okay. And he discharged it? Like he shot around?
He shot around.
Wow.
So not only is that brandishing the weapon, it's discharging the weapon. This guy is going to be going away for a while. As far as the charges go, these are a little bit more extreme than our previous contestant, Mr. Jonathan Mason. But Jonathan Mason was just doing more outlandish things, I feel like, riding mules.
I think this guy's a bigger dumbass.
This guy might be a bigger dumbass.
I think he's a bigger dumbass.
Justin Kimball.
Well, yeah, because he called the cops on himself. Like the other guy just got caught releasing raccoons and riding donkeys while being intoxicated.
Yeah. He'll be out before this guy will be out. So if we're measuring it by that, Justin Kimball, you are the winner of Dumbass of the Week.
Congratulations, Justin. I'm so happy that you made the program this week.
and this behavior is absolutely ridiculous, America. Don't get any wild ideas.
Yeah.
I know it's getting kind of wildly out in the streets. Let's keep it safe this week.
Hey, let's keep it as safe as we can, and let's not exploit people that we work with.
That's fair.
Okay, so Kevin, of course you've heard about this. So leaders of Orgasmic Meditation Women's Wellness Company, One Taste is the name of the company, convicted of forced labor trial, and this couldn't be worse. So basically, Brooklyn convicted Nicole and Rachel. They're like the formal sales director and the founder of this One Taste company for forced labor charges, but it's an orgasmic meditation company. So the forced labor actually involved sexual exploitation and like all this wicked stuff. So apparently this was like catching fire and like everyone was talking about it like back in 2010 and like this was like a big wellness thing for women. But some of the people that were doing this are going back saying that they were forced into sexual situations, forced to do sexual acts, as part of these programs. And of course, the defense lawyers are coming out saying, no, it's more regret. They wanted to do that, and now they just regret what they did. All this and that. Honestly, if it gets to this point, I'm thinking that they were doing something that was a little shady.
This entire, act, if you will, this orgasmic meditation was really big in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. Our good buddy Theo Vaughn had talked about being a part of that cult for a bit around this time too, like 2012.
The fact that you're calling it a cult,
I call it a cult because like there's like this whole underground orgasmic meditation shit, which is like, there's a lot of sexual acts going on. And I don't think a lot of people know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah,
and then they're kind of forced into these situations.
Some people were going into debt just to like be part of this, and they're like getting forced into debt and stuff. So
not good. I mean, that's almost like extortion. That's like almost like racketeering, if you will, depending on how deep it goes. So I'd be curious to see the trial. We're awaiting trial, or they have been sentenced.
Prosecutors describe the organization as built on a cult-like dynamic, manipulation, economic control, and psychological coercion.
Yeah.
So
for all the points we just hit on.
Basically, these ladies, the founder, they could face up to 20 years in prison for this.
Yeah, I mean, and if they're found guilty on this, then they should be there because extortion, all that kind of stuff is no good. And typically these cases are, it's interesting because we had the Me Too movement and everyone was just taking at face value. And now you kind of have two female leaders here part of this. So I'll be really curious to see the outcome of that. I won't make any comments until we see the final verdict.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. And next, we're moving to cocaine addicted fruit flies. What's going on with that?
This was probably one of the more interesting articles I read this week. This is not a dumbass article of the week, but some of it can seem pretty wild. So researchers at the University of Utah have genetically modified fruit flies to crave cocaine. And it does sound bizarre,
They
but
did this on purpose?
the goal, but there's a goal here, and it's to better understand addiction and develop new treatments faster. Because apparently, fruit flies that are used in research, they share about 70 to 75% of human diseases and related genes and behaviors. And of course, they have a faster life cycle.
Yeah.
But like with rats and mice and all these other,
So fruit flies are more compatible to humans than rats?
well, they share a lot of our human-related diseases, so they're able to do these
Okay.
kind of tests on them. So basically, what they did is they turned off their bitter receivers. So they gave them, one style of water, and then the other style was small doses of cocaine.
I wonder what kind of cocaine if they're using. If it's better than the stuff you could like buy illegally.
I don't know. It could be,
They're in a lab. You'd think that they would have like the most pristinest, like it's not even cut with anything. Like
I really
that's
don't
what
know.
I'm thinking.
There's got to be some legalities behind all
And then
that.
honestly, I'm thinking that these participants that are testing the fruit flies, how do they know that this is good cocaine if they didn't try it themselves?
Well, there's a lot of questions there that I don't have the answers
I'm thinking
to.
some of these scientists are on coke while they're testing
I
these
really,
fruit flies.
I don't know. But what I can tell you is they started, they were so used to this one style of water. Right.
Okay.
And then over time, they instead of choosing that, they went to the cocaine water. And they noticed that some of the behavior was kind of similar to what happens to humans on cocaine, hyperactive at low doses. Right.
Okay.
And so research showed them on a large scale, they're going to take the cocaine. I think they don't have a percentage here, but it was like 8 out of 10 fruit flies were going towards the cocaine. So 80%,
All
which
right.
is, I don't know what the addiction rate of America is, but it's probably over 50%.
Oh, the addiction rate is 100%. Everyone's addicted to something.
Sure. But I'm more immune to drugs or alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the point of this was study addiction on a large scale, and what the results that we're seeing is that fruit flies, they want some booger sugar.
So what were how do we benefit from the information in this? Like what was the
They observe the behavior, they observe their life cycles. Does it speed it up? Does it slow it down?
what is like the lesson for us to be learned as far as being aware of drug and addiction?
Well, I think it's in transit right now.
Okay,
I don't
it's
think
actively.
Yeah, I mean, the one study, and we're not like, oh, we have it all figured out. It's a bigger picture thing. It was one study on these fruit flies to start to understand addiction at a better level and how to treat it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing is if you get them addicted to cocaine, now you got to treat it.
But I mean, how are they treating these fruit flies of cocaine addiction with their short lifespans?
Oh, that's part of that's part of the test.
What's going on with that?
It's part of what these scientists do. I mean, they're a hell of a lot smarter than I am. I'm just reporting the article here.
Hey, that's okay. You find some good ones, and I get some questions.
That's fair.
And I genuinely believe that at least one of these scientists tried the cocaine.
Took a toot, you think?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I wasn't there.
I mean, I'm just going with my intuition on this. And next, we're going into the weekend.
Happy Father's Day out there to all the dads, and single moms out there that are raising their kids, playing both roles. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there.
Yep, that's very nice. That's very nice. With this weekend, I'm going to say that everyone is creative enough to come up with their own things to do. We can all find something to do this weekend and be productive. That's all I'm going to say is do something productive. Don't just be a schlump on your phone all day. Like let's do something productive that fills our glasses and helps us spill over so then our loved ones can enjoy our presence more.
I like it. Productivity is always key. It's going to be a hot weekend out there, at least here in Denver. It's heating up all over the place. We are in Mexico City.
It has to be a crazy race.
It's going to be wild. We haven't been to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. We are going there for the Viva Mexico 250. First time ever the Cup Series goes south of the border. Denny Hamlin's still on baby watch, so he's not going to go if the baby hasn't been born by the time he needs to be strapped into that race car. He won last week, so he's secured in the playoffs. Tune in Monday night right here on this YouTube channel. We're going to break all that action down from Mexico City.
Mash the Gas podcast with Sky and Jeff. Of course, Kevin Batstone as well. What a great program. Thank you so much for tuning in here on the Discussion Combustion Network for this Happy Friday, America. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Shoot us with the email. You already know where to find all that stuff, and I'm out.